Hi friends, how are you? Hope you're having a good time. Today we will learn how to ask for advice, how to give advice. Before we start our lesson, if you are a new viewer, please don't forget to subscribe and press on likes and shares. Clear? Thank you in advance. So let's get started. Since it is a communication lesson, we need at least two speakers. One asks for advice and the other gives advice. Clear? So, to ask for advice, we need basically a problem. You have to state the problem first, then you ask for advice. Let's take this example. I have a terrible toothache. So this is a problem. So then you ask for advice. To ask for advice, we have a myriad of questions. Clear? So the most common one is, what should I do? What should I do? I have a terrible toothache. What should I do? Clear? Or what do you advise me? Okay, so here, as you see, we are using the verb which comes from advice. So the verb is used with S and it's pronounced as Z, and the noun is written with C and pronounced as S. Clear? So you have, what should I do? What do you advise me? Or simply, what is your advice? What is your advice for me? Right? So these are the most common questions used to ask for advice. Now, let's shift to giving advice. Clear? So I have to clean the board. Okay, so now giving advice. Okay, so to give advice, we can use modals or modal verbs. So modals like, for example, should, or the negative form, which is should not or shouldn't, the short form. For example, I have a terrible toothache. What should I do? So to give advice, you can say, for example, you should see the dentist. You should see the dentist. Clear? You should see the dentist. So here you have the use of should plus verb, bare infinitive. So it's a general rule when you have a modal verb, okay, it's plus verb bare infinitive, means 0 to. We cannot say you should to see the dentist, but you should see the dentist. Clear? Or use shouldn't. For example, you shouldn't eat a lot of, for example, sweets. Right? You shouldn't eat a lot of sweets, or you should not eat a lot of sweets. Okay? So we don't have only should and shouldn't concerning modals. We have other modals, like, I'm going just to clean on modals. Okay? You have also ought to. Okay? The negative form, ought not to or oughtn't to. Oughtn't to. O-U-G-H-T-N' to. Clear? So instead of should, you can say, okay, you ought to see the dentist. You ought to see the dentist. Or the negative form, you oughtn't to. Okay, you oughtn't to eat a lot of sweets. Okay, to remind you, this too, it's part of the model verb. Clear? It's ought to, it's a model. Clear? We have also another model, which is, okay, which is had better. Had better. Clear? Negative form, had better not. Okay? For example, here, you had better, double T, you had better see the dentist. ولا had better not. Had better not eat a lot of sweets. Clear? So this is concerning models. We have, of course, other ways to give advice. For example, as I call it, direct advice. Direct advice using the word advise as a verb or the noun. Clear? For example, you can say, I advise you to. I advise you to see the dentist. Clear? I advise you to see the dentist. Or my advice to you is to see, okay, to see the dentist. Clear? Good. So we have models, we have the use of the verb advise and the noun advise, and you have a third way, which is, I call it indirect advice. Indirect, okay, indirect advice via this form. Okay, if I were you, or if I were in your position, okay, or an idiomatic expression, if I were in your shoes, okay, if I were in your shoes, S-H-O-E-S, comma, so you put comma here, then you finish the part. If I were you, I would, okay, I would, for example, see the dentist, okay, it's indirect, you don't address the person. I advise you, or my advice to you is, you can say, if I were you, I would see the dentist, or if I were in your position, comma, I would see the dentist, or if I were in your shoes, comma, I would see the dentist. So these are the three ways used to give advice. So I hope you get this communication lesson about asking for and giving advice. If you have any comments, so feel free to make them. Thank you for watching.